Hi all, I'm Nicole. I recently joined the .NET Foundation as a community manager. I'm excited to get started in the role, and my first task is bringing the interviews for the candidates that are running for the .NET board. Today, we have Mitchell Sellers. Can you introduce yourself, Mitchell?
Yes, hello, thanks for having me. My name is Mitchell Sellers, and I'm excited to be here today to talk about my campaign for the 2021 board elections.
All the candidates are going to be asked the same 5 questions. These questions have come from a survey sent out via Slack by the nomination committee. If you have any questions for the candidates, please tweet them to the official .NET Foundation Twitter handle. Mitchell, what excites you about the future of the .NET ecosystem?
For me, the .NET ecosystem is constantly evolving, and we have seen massive amounts of change as the Microsoft embracement of open source has continued to gain steam and the ability to work with all kinds of different platforms and technologies, right? We can do mobile, we can do web, we can do desktop. For me, that ecosystem evolvement has been rapid. The contributions in open source has been rapid, and the newfound love for everything open source is something that is absolutely empowering. And with that, I think we have a huge opportunity for us to be able to get more involved. We're going to be able to do more things, get more people utilizing .NET in any variety or any flavor to be able to accomplish things and to get much more involved in the feedback process for everyone, no longer just MVPs and otherwise.
Great. What role do you think the .NET Foundation can play to inspire more confidence in .NET?
So for me, the .NET Foundation is a organization that has an ability to really change some of the confidence factors for any open source project that's part of the foundation by setting and enforcing a set of guidelines for participation within the .NET Foundation. I'm a leader for one of the largest .NET-based CMSs that's a member of the foundation, as well as I contribute to another of other projects that are part of the foundation. Within the foundation's guidelines or frameworks, there's been a lot of talk over the years about creating trust systems or maturity models. And that is one thing that I think would be absolutely critical to be able to help continue to get more confidence with anything .NET, and specifically those that are .NET open source. By the foundation being able to be a trusted third-party source to be able to set a maturity model or guidelines of, hey, a project that does X, Y, and Z is showing good long-term stability, a behavior as a mature open source project, it will help to inspire the confidence that those projects are going to be able to succeed over others that might be out there. And that is something that will just be able to continue to compound. And by using those resources to create those models and having the tools available to help the open source contributors be able to implement those models, that's a way that I believe the .NET Foundation will really be able to push .NET and the .NET ecosystem further forward.
I think you touched on it, but how can the .NET Foundation help open source projects be more successful and gain credibility?
So the biggest thing for the .NET Foundation today on being more successful is going to be making sure that the projects that are a part of the .NET Foundation know what it actually means to be part of the .NET Foundation. One of the biggest gaps that exists today with the .NET Foundation is that when you become a member of the .NET Foundation and you contribute your project to it, there's not a clear pathway to what you get with being part of the .NET Foundation. There's not necessarily a quick, easy way for you to be able to understand or realize the resources that are available to you. And by establishing better pathways, whether it be a maturity model, whether it be a more detailed guidelines of, hey, you should do X, Y, and Z once you've joined, you should do this on an annual basis, it's taking the information that's available today, the resources that are available today, and putting those into the hands of project leaders and making sure that they have those tools at their tooltips, the tips of their fingers, and they know how to use them and that they actually have them available. A lot of communication has been used over the last couple of years to make this a little bit better, but I think there's still a lot of room to improve. There's also marketing and other campaign abilities, but I don't think that those are even as big as simply helping to ensure that the projects are maintained with a security focus, with a longevity focus, because when you get those pieces together, adoption goes up. Adoption goes up, the visibility of those projects naturally is going to grow. So I think it's a key of just making those projects aware of what's there. We may very well have future things. There may be all kinds of things that we can do 1 year, 2 years down the road, but I think we have, for years, a problem of getting the current tools into the hands of the open source projects. Let's accomplish that and then figure out the next steps to take it even further.
What can the .NET Foundation do around education and the adoption of .NET?
So I think the .NET Foundation has a great opportunity. The speaker concept and being able to create a speaker directory and helping connect speakers with events that need a speaker, whether it be through some sort of sponsor type speaker thing, or just even really facilitating the ability for a speaker and an event to get people, is one of the easiest ways that the .NET Foundation can help take a knowledgeable person and connect them with somebody or an event that needs assistance. And I think the more that can be done to help provide tools for those organizations looking for speakers, providing content potentially for speakers to be able to share. There's nothing wrong with 2 different speakers in 2 different parts of the world giving the same talk about what's new in .NET. There's no reason we can't collaborate on that. And I think that the .NET Foundation could really help speakers be more effective, help the .NET community be more effective in getting new platform adoption out by creating great high quality presentations with people that can have the skill set necessary to deliver those presentations and make them available. A great example is we have .NET MAUI coming soon, and there's a lot of conversation around how you transition from Xamarin Forms to .NET MAUI. It's going to be an absolute hot button thing that's going to be full of opinion. Having some official documentation, a really approved, cleaned, polished slide deck that provides that information in an easy to digest manner, and then being able to help share that amongst speakers across the world improves everything. So I think there's a lot that we can do there and continue to push all of that educational content out in any manner possible.
Okay, great. What are some things you would do right away if you got onto the .NET board?
For me, my number one concern when joining the board, if I'm accepted, is to dive into the project support mechanism, the resources that are available, the communication processes that are there today, and try to figure out which way I can contribute, which way I can help the foundation clean up some of those processes to get information in the hands of project owners. We have a lot of amazing projects. We have a lot of amazing projects that are needing help, that have been looking for help, and they've had longstanding help requests or have needed help but not known who to even ask. So that's my number one priority, is to figure out how to make the .NET Foundation a better resource for project owners and to get that information in their hands. So I want to dive in, roll up my sleeves, and figure out how to make that better.
Great. How can people reach you?
So I can be reached via Twitter. I'm just at Mitchell Sellers. It's Mitchell with 1 L. My email and everything is also out in my election profile. So, don't ever hesitate to reach out and ask me any questions. Been a longstanding community member, 12-year Microsoft MVP. I speak at conferences and events all over. So I'm not afraid to answer questions and let you folks know what my experience is. If there's something that your project, like, oh my gosh, this is what we absolutely need. That's the other thing that I think we all need to hear is, what can we do to make it better? Whether I get elected to the foundation board or not, I want to see open source continue to prosper. I want to see the .NET ecosystem continue to move forward as it has been in recent months and years.
Great. Thank you for joining me, Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you.